I'm senior reporter Roland Barris. We interrupt your programming this morning with breaking news from Twin Falls. Any minute now, police are expected to provide an update on that deadly mass shooting at the In-N-Out over the weekend. Police may also, we're told, be showing video from the scene that has yet to be released. We don't know for certain what the police will be talking about today, but we do know the who, what, where, and when of what happened. We don't know the why or the how, and we're hoping to get some clarity on that today. As we've reported, 3 people were killed, 7 others were injured in the shooting. The restaurant had been open just a week before the shooting took place, and for those of us in the Treasure Valley and have seen openings of In-N-Out burgers, there are lots and lots of people at these openings for days on end. Since that shooting happened, flowers and memorials have amassed outside of the restaurant. A vigil is planned for 3 p.m. today. Anyone is invited to attend to gather in remembrance. Now, all week, neighbors continue to find ways to support their community and victims of the tragedy. On Tuesday, hundreds gathered for a candlelight vigil to pay their respects. Pastors led neighbors in song and prayer, while local businesses donated food and water for those in attendance. And more events supporting the victims are planned in the coming days. Reynolds has organized an auction and concert. The event will be held on Sunday from 3 to 8 at the Tap House Event Center. It's $10 to get in. And then on Tuesday, Jenna Hunter, owner of Magic Valley Mobile Swag, will be selling clothing with custom designs. Hunter is offering a Twin Falls Strong design and an Idaho Shoots Back design. She says 100% of the proceeds go to the families of the victims. The event will be held on Tuesday. That's from 10 to 4 next to the Grease Monkey in Twin Falls.
I think one of the most important things that we can do is show up and show up immediately, whether that be financially, emotionally, in any instance that we can and in any depth that we can.
Everyone is grieving in a different way, and I think this is something that's really impacting our community.
You can learn more about the ways the Twin Falls community is working to stay Twin Falls strong, as they put it, on our website, idahonews6.com. Now, as we've reported, 3 people were killed in the shooting. They are Ashley Garibay, 23 years old, from Stockton, California. She was one of the workers at the In-N-Out that was actually an associate helping train new staff. And 66-year-old Dale Schultz from Salt Lake City. Dale and his wife in Twin Falls on their way to a family reunion in Wendell. And his wife, Renette, was badly injured and continues to recover in Utah. And our thoughts are with her, of course, and all those others who were injured. 59-year-old Christopher Claunch also was killed. Christopher called Idaho home for the past 30 years. He worked at the Renaissance Ranch Center in Rupert, and his sister told the New York Times he was always just sort of a goofball. Now, members of the Twin Falls Police Department are expected to be speaking at this news conference, and we are still waiting for them to arrive to give us some details. Again, we are anticipating the possibility of seeing some video. Perhaps it is officer cameras, maybe it's security cameras from that area where the shooting took place. Again, what we are waiting for and have been waiting for days for is to find out the why and the how that this happened. At this point, we don't have a motive. And of course, the shooter in this case, 24-year-old Chad Williams, ended up taking his own life.
Good morning.
We now will join this news conference in progress.
Second press briefing in reference to our Canyon Park West shooting incident. Today you will hear from Police Chief Matthew Hicks, Twin Falls County Sheriff Jack Johnson, and ASAC Agent Michael Montoya. We will not be taking any questions at the end of today's briefing. However, we will be showing a video depicting the events that occurred that day. Today, at this time, I would like to welcome Twin Falls Police Department Chief Matthew Hicks, Twin Falls County Sheriff Jack Johnson, ASAC Agent Michael Montoya, Twin Falls County Prosecutor Grant Lobes, Twin Falls City Manager Travis Rothweiler, and Twin Falls Mayor Jason Brown to come forward at this time.
Morning, everybody. Thank you all for being here. I know it's been a long week for you as well as for our community. Before I begin, I want to acknowledge the victims' families, the witnesses, and every person in our community that has been affected by this terrible incident. What happened here was violent, frightening, and deeply traumatic. Families in this area, on what should have been a normal Saturday afternoon, dealt with the worst thing imaginable. Employees showing up for work, visitors coming to see our beautiful city, and instead they were confronted with chaos, fear, and now loss. Our hearts are with every victim and family that are now carrying the weight of this tragedy. We know that there are thousands of people in our community that are grieving. We know that there are people recovering from physical injuries. And we know there are many others who may have not been physically hurt, but who have witnessed things that no one should ever have to see. And to them, we are truly sorry, and we stand with you. We want to recognize the courage of citizens, employees of the businesses affected, our first responders, our dispatchers, medical personnel, and law enforcement officers who responded to this scene in extremely dangerous and rapidly changing conditions. Their actions absolutely saved lives. Today, we want to provide an overview of what we currently know. We want to emphasize that this remains an active and ongoing investigation. Some details may change as investigators continue to review evidence, examine video, conduct witness interviews, review dispatch recording and officer reports. What we are ready to discuss is what is believed to be the most accurate information available at this time. We also want to address how we will be referring to the individual responsible for this attack. Out of respect for our victims, their families, and this community, we have made the intentional decision from this point forward not to repeatedly use the suspect's name. He has been clearly identified in previous press briefings. At this time, there is still no known motive for this attack. After acts of mass violence, the person responsible should not become the lasting identity of this tragedy. This incident should not be remembered by his name, and we will not contribute to any attention, notoriety, or recognition that he may have sought by committing this action. Instead, we will refer to him during this briefing as the gunman or the suspect. Our focus remains where it belongs, on our victims, on the people who were injured, on the families whose lives have forever been changed, and on the courage of those that helped them in their greatest time of need, and the strength that this community needs as we all begin to heal. We want to address why we are not releasing or confirming the names of those injured in this incident without their permission. Our agency is absolutely committed to being victim-centered in our approach to justice. Unless an injured person or their appropriate representative has given us permission to share their name, we will respect their privacy. We understand that names may be circulating online and on social media or in the community, but we will not be confirming the identity of any injured person at this time without their permission. Being a victim of a violent crime is deeply personal, and those individuals and their families deserve the time, space, and dignity to make their own decisions about what information they choose to share with the public. Our focus remains clear on supporting them, protecting their privacy, and allowing them time to heal without the added pressure and unwanted attention. We also want to take this opportunity today to dispel some misinformation that has developed over the last week. I want to reiterate again that the suspect we identified on Sunday, we believe, acted alone. At this time, we have no other reason to believe that any other person was involved. At this time, with the most accurate information available, we believe that 10 people received gunshot wounds in this incident, with 3 of those people losing their lives. 2 of the victims were wounded inside of the restaurant, 1 fatally. 2 of our victims were wounded outside of the restaurant, 1 fatally. 3 people were wounded on Blue Lakes Boulevard with no fatalities. 3 people were also wounded in the visitor center parking lot, one fatally. We also want to clarify from our first press briefing about the off-duty Idaho State Trooper who took heroic action during this incident. We understand there may have been some confusion, and we want to be sure that the record is clear. So with his permission, we are sharing the names of one of the Good Samaritans who tried to intervene that day, Austin James, also known as A.J. Scott. Mr. James ran towards the sound of gunfire coming from the In-N-Out drive-thru area rather than away from danger, and his actions are courageous and commendable. After Mr. James was shot, he drew a pistol from his waistband but did not fire his weapon. Mr. James is a former Twin Falls police officer and a former Idaho state trooper. He is not currently employed in law enforcement. He is not the off-duty state trooper we were referring to in our last initial briefing. At this time, we will not be releasing of the active duty state trooper who is inside of the restaurant at the time. This off-duty trooper's heroic actions started inside the restaurant with him exchanging gunfire with the suspect through a window. The trooper also later directed employees out of the kitchen and out of the building. Heroically and unbelievably, this trooper also assisted responding officers, leading them towards the last known direction of the shooter, and then took up a position at a key location to provide security until he could be relieved. Some may ask why we are not releasing the name of this off-duty trooper who risked his life in the time of need. This trooper is also a victim of this incident. He is being provided with the same amount of privacy and respect that our agency has worked so hard to provide for all of those this day. I want to be clear about the environment that our officers and first responders were going into last Saturday. They arrived in one of the busiest parts of our city on a hot Saturday afternoon with temperatures pushing 100 degrees near a newly opened restaurant with dozens of employees and a large number of customers. There were a number of cars in the drive-thru and numerous people inside the restaurant. There were hundreds of vehicles moving on Blue Lakes Boulevard. There were hundreds of people at nearby and surrounding businesses. There were over 60 visitors in the visitor center at the time. There were people running, hiding, calling 911, trying to help, and trying to escape. At the same time, responding officers from multiple agencies were hearing reports of gunfire from multiple locations, multiple people injured, and possibly multiple suspects. They did not have the benefit of our hindsight in this moment. They were moving towards danger while trying to determine where the threat was, how many suspects there were, who was injured, and how to protect hundreds of people spread across multiple locations. This is by far the most extreme, complex, and dangerous situation that is completely unprecedented for our community. From the time the first call in, our first officer was on scene within 3 minutes. But it took law enforcement approximately 90 minutes to determine that there was only one active shooter involved. During those 90 minutes, officers received multiple reports of possible active shooters in different locations. There were reports of suspects headed toward the mall, which required officers to divert their attention and resources to respond there and place that location on lockdown. Nearby shopping complexes had to be searched. A hotel under construction nearby also had to be checked and secured. Our 2 dispatchers that were working at the time were overwhelmed with a number of calls. They received 85 calls within the first 10 minutes and a total of 163 calls in the first hour. And they did everything humanly possible to gather information, calm the callers, direct resources, and keep officers updated. Dispatchers with SERCOM also received hundreds of calls and helped direct numerous responding officers and resources into the area. Fire and EMS personnel arrived quickly and without hesitation or concern for their own personal safety, they began to treat victims under very difficult circumstances. Over 150 first responders from 19 agencies responded and worked together to secure the scene, search buildings, locate victims, protect citizens, and stop the threat on August 1st. I want to thank the numerous employees of the City of Twin Falls that came in that day on their own accord to provide logistical and emotional support for our people. It is vitally important that our community understand how proud they should be of these first responders. By all accounts, their actions that day should be rated at the highest levels of our profession. We are eternally grateful for the assistance of our partner agencies and for the actions of citizens who helped during this incident, and I personally cannot be more proud of them. We want to thank the employees and community members who helped shelter others, guide people to safety, provided information to law enforcement, or assisted victims until help could arrive. In moments like this, courage can take many forms. Sometimes it can be an officer moving towards gunfire. Sometimes it can be a helpful citizen directing people into a safe room. Sometimes it's a citizen distracting a gunman long enough for give time for others to escape. Sometimes it is an employee helping a coworker to hide. Sometimes it is a dispatcher staying calm in an incredibly stressful situation in the worst moment of someone's life to provide them some level of comfort. This incident has shaken our entire community. Twin Falls is a strong community, but strength does not mean that we're not unaffected. Strength means that we come together, we support the victims, their families, the witnesses, and continue the hard work of healing. I want to be sure that our community knows that victim services and support resources are available for them. With the assistance of our partners with the FBI, local victim witness coordinators and the Red Cross have established a virtually family assistance center that can be accessed online. We strongly encourage anybody who's been affected by this incident, victims, family members, witnesses, employees, first responders, or community members who are struggling to visit that site and review the information available. Many of our local service providers have also stepped forward to provide counseling, advocacy, crisis support, and other resources for those impacted. No one should feel that they have to go through this process alone. Help is available, and we encourage you to use these services and to share this information with anybody who may need their support. In the upcoming days, the City of Twin Falls will be announcing a partnership with NOVA, the National Organization for Victim Advocacy, and we will be scheduling events over the next several months to provide local citizens with the resources they need to deal with this tragedy. We also want to thank the team of an organization called Courageous Survival, a local nonprofit that is assisting first responders in providing them and their families with the resources that they need to heal from this event. I'm asking for all of us to avoid public speculation. We understand the desire for answers. We share that desire with you. But investigations of this size are complex and they take time. Our goal is to provide accurate information, not simply fast information. Before we continue, we want to advise the public that we will now be showing a video presentation that includes audio, video, still images, and a timeline of this incident. Although the video and images have been censored, the content still may be disturbing, emotional, or traumatic for some viewers directly impacted by this tragedy. We are sharing this information to provide transparency and a clear understanding of what occurred, but we ask everybody to please use their discretion in viewing it. We believe right now is the right time to fill in more pieces of the puzzle for this incident to allow our community to understand what transpired that day and aid in the healing process. Images depicted inside the restaurant depict syrup that has been spilled on the floor, not blood. The faces of those people in the videos have been blurred to try to protect their privacy. If you feel that this material may be harmful for you or someone watching with you, we encourage you not to watch it. Viewer discretion is advised.
August 1st, 2026, at 2:29 p.m., Twin Falls Dispatch received a 911 call reporting an active shooter incident at the In and Out restaurant located at 1965 Blue Lakes Boulevard North in Twin Falls, Idaho. Twin Falls police officers responded as the primary law enforcement agency alongside Twin Falls Fire, Magic Valley Paramedics, Idaho State Police, Twin Falls County Sheriff's Office, and numerous other area partners. 3 people were killed, and 7 additional victims suffered gunshot wounds. The gunman died at the scene from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. The video you are about to see contains video and audio from an active shooter incident involving multiple fatalities and injured victims. The video has been edited for length and clarity. Portions have been muted, blurred, paused, or omitted to protect privacy and to avoid releasing graphic material. This video contains content that may be disturbing or traumatic for some viewers. Viewer discretion is advised. The gunman arrives at the drive-thru in a white Honda Civic. When he reaches the payment window, the gunman shoots the first victim, Ashley Garibay, who later succumbed to her injuries at the hospital. The gunman proceeds in the drive-thru, parking his car. He then shoots the second victim, Christopher Cloche, in his vehicle, who is pronounced dead at the scene. Former Twin Falls police officer and former Idaho State Police trooper, Austin James, runs towards the incident where he encounters the gunman and is the third victim shot. Mr. James retreats and draws his handgun, preparing to engage the gunman. Due to his severe injury and blood loss, he is pulled back into his vehicle and given aid before going to the hospital. The gunman returns to the payment window and observes employees rendering aid to Ashley. He fires into the window a second time before his handgun jams, and he returns to his vehicle to retrieve a rifle. Inside the restaurant, an off-duty Idaho State Police trooper assists in evacuating patrons and employees while he searches for the threat. With the rifle, the gunman runs back to the drive-thru and fires at nearby patrons before returning to the payment window for a third time. The off-duty ISP trooper and the gunman exchange fire. The gunman retreats before returning to the payment window for a fourth time, firing inside and striking the fourth victim, a Good Samaritan who is attempting to assist the off-duty trooper and render aid to the victim inside. The gunman proceeds to the food window. Upon seeing no one inside, he moves on. In the drive-thru, a woman fleeing from inside the restaurant runs alongside the building before encountering the gunman. She takes cover behind his vehicle and picks up the handgun he left behind. Discovering it is jammed, she discards the pistol as she runs away, and the gunman walks towards Blue Lakes Boulevard North. The gunman fires at multiple vehicles that are stopped at a red light, striking 3 victims. A Good Samaritan with a handgun engages the gunman who is running north towards the Tesla charging station. The gunman shoots the 8th victim in the first Tesla. He then shoots the 3rd deceased victim, Dale Schultz, and his passenger, the 10th victim, in the 2nd Tesla. The gunman proceeds through the parking lot towards the Twin Falls Visitors Center. He is seen by people inside who evacuate the store. The first officer arrives on scene. The off-duty ISP trooper directs him towards the gunman. Three people in the visitors center are unable to evacuate and shelter inside as the gunman enters. Employees from nearby stores evacuate to the walking trail, believing the gunman is in the front parking lot. The gunman exits the visitor's center and proceeds to the trail where he encounters two employees. One bravely engages with the gunman, allowing others coming down the trail time to turn around escape. As they separate, the gunman fires towards the employee. He then runs up the path as officers approach. Officers pursue up the trail searching the pathway, construction site, and canyon edge while receiving reports of a possible second gunman.
Hey, police! Can you hear me? Okay, come in. Where'd you go? Louder?
Between the construction site and Petco, an officer locates the gunman off the trail.
Hey! Show me your hands!
As the officer challenges him, the suspect dies of a self-inflicted gunshot wound and falls into the canyon. Officers immediately begin to investigate claims of a second gunman and return to render aid to victims alongside the firefighters, paramedics, and other personnel. The Twin Falls Police Department is certain that additional acts of heroism and rendering aid to those in need contributed to the saving of lives. This remains an active case. Twin Falls police detectives continue to investigate alongside our partners with the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the Twin Falls County Sheriff's Office, the Idaho State Police, and many other area, state, and federal agencies.
To our victims and their loved ones, this community grieves with you. We will never forget what happened here. We will never forget those that were hurt. We will do everything within our ability and our authority to understand every detail of this incident and provide you the answers in time that you need. We also want to recognize the young man on the walking trail who, in a moment of extraordinary danger, distracted the gunman long enough for citizens to turn and run in the other direction to safety. To that young man, you are a hero. Your courage, your composure, your selflessness in that moment likely gave others the time they needed to escape harm. In the middle of fear and chaos, you thought of others, and that kind of bravery deserves to be acknowledged. This community is grateful for you, and we will never forget what you did that day. To our officers, dispatchers, firefighters, EMS personnel, medical teams, partner agencies, we are all so proud of you. You responded to a rapidly evolving and extremely dangerous incident with courage and professionalism. And to the people of to the people of Twin Falls, please take care of one another. Check on your family, your coworkers, your neighbors, and anybody that may be affected by this. In the days ahead, there will be grief, anger, questions, and fear. But there also should be compassion, resilience, and unity. That is who we are as a community. We are stronger together, and we will get through this. We are Twin Falls strong. At this point, I want to introduce a critical partner, the ASAC for Salt Lake City office with the FBI, Mike Montoya.
Good morning. My name is Michael Montoya. I'm the Assistant Special Agent in charge with the FBI Field Office down in Salt Lake City. Our hearts are heavy and remain with the victims, with their families, and everyone in this community who've been deeply impacted. The FBI has been fully committed to supporting our law enforcement partners, and continue to assist in this investigation as it moves forward. We know people want answers, and so do we. From day one, we have dedicated significant investigative and intelligence resources to this case. We are working around the clock with our partners to pursue the leads. Victim specialists from our field offices and from the FBI's Victim Services Division in Washington, D.C. also continue to provide critical assistance and support to our victims and their families. Anyone looking for information, resources, and support can visit our virtual Family Assistance Center at any time. This website is fbi.gov/FBI Twin Falls. Again, that's fbi.gov/FBI Twin Falls. We also continue to ask anyone who has photos or videos from the incident to submit them through our digital tip line. Something that may seem small to you could be an important piece of the information of the investigation. And this website is fbi.gov/Twin Falls shooting. Again, that one's fbi.gov/Twin Falls shooting. The FBI is committed to standing alongside our partners, supporting those affected, and doing everything we can to help provide the answers this community deserves as it begins the difficult process of healing. Thank you. I'll now turn it over to Sheriff Jack Dalton.
Thank you. I'll be fairly brief, but good morning. A lot of this might be a little repetitive, but I do want to acknowledge all of the unsung heroes in our community. The citizens, the off-duty trooper drove this creature away from the immediate scene. The citizen and off-duty fire chief who tended to wounded and got people to sheltered areas for protection. A big shout out to our businesses in that area. They opened their doors for people to shelter in. The employees at In-N-Out who were doing their best to protect each other and tend to wounded. This is a list, is much more than I have mentioned, I'm sure. I can't tell you how proud I and Chief Hicks are of our emergency responders. Deputies and officers from multiple agencies, and this is just to name a few: the Twin Falls Sheriff's Office, Twin Falls Police Department, Twin Falls Fire, Idaho State Police, dispatchers from both centers, paramedics. We had agencies such as the Buell Police, Filer Police, Kimberly Police, Jerome County Sheriff's Office and Jerome Police Department, Gooding County Sheriff's Office, Minidoka County Sheriff's Office, of course our FBI and ATF partners, and I know I missed some people and I apologize. Several of our deputies as well as officers were out of town while this happened. They were off duty or on vacation, spending time with their family, and when they heard this news, they dropped what they were doing and came home just in case they were needed, and they were. And I'm sure this is the case with many of our partner agencies. Our citizens and business community, thank you. Thank you for your resilience, for being there for all of us, the victims in the community, to all of the victims and their families. God bless you, and may you find your way through this tragedy. Our community will heal, and we will not allow this to define Twin Falls. Thank you, and God bless you. Turn the time over to Lieutenant Gasser.
Once again, we want to thank everyone for coming today. The video that was shown today will be released at a later time on all social media and City of Twin Falls websites. At that point in time, this now concludes the press briefing. Everyone have a great day. Thank you.
All right, we have been watching a news conference recapping what law enforcement knows about the shooting that took place at the In-N-Out restaurant in Twin Falls on August 1st. Just a remarkable news conference that we just witnessed, in part because of all the video that officers and law enforcement were able to show. A few highlights real quickly. They don't know a motive at this point. Still working on it. It's something they emphasized again and again during this news conference. This is a work in progress, and it's going to take time, and they are taking the time they need to get it right, which is the right way to do things. Again, remarkable video showing from beginning to end with some editing obviously in between because this came from different cameras, what happened, starting with the restaurant, then moving on to the Tesla charging area where other tragic shootings took place, and then on to the visitors center. And the most remarkable piece of video, which you can go back and look at again later, is an employee, I believe, of the visitors center, but an employee standing virtually toe-to-toe with the shooter on a walkway overlooking the gorge there, while the shooter has a weapon in his hand and talking directly to him. Knowing what's going on, talking directly to him, and allowing others to escape at that time. The shooter then actually aims the gun at that employee and fires a round, at least we see, and apparently misses, and that the bravery of that employee was mentioned by law enforcement as just incredible, and they are right. Again, we were able to get a timeline of what happened. We still don't know why this happened, everyone, and that will be in the investigation in days to come. They would not mention the shooter's name, and they said they want, out of all of this, the focus to be on the victims, which is where it should be. As we continue to look for a cause, a reason for why this all took place. The last bit of the video, of course, was paused as officers actually caught up with the shooter and he took his own life. That was not shown in the video, of course. Again, a vigil is planned for 3 p.m. today at the In-N-Out on Blue Lakes, and anyone is invited to gather in remembrance or to find support, comfort, and healing. And this is a story that Idaho News 6 has been closely following for you to learn more about the victims and those who were injured, who were not named today, by the way. They are waiting to name any of those who were injured. There were another 7 injured individuals along with these 3 who lost their lives. And police say they will not release any other names unless they are given permission by the families. But for all the details on this story, you can visit our website, idahonews6.com. We'll have more at 11 o'clock. We'll return you to regular programming.